Welcome back to my Star Wars Legends chronological timeline rating, where I go through the expanded universe in my chronological timeline order and rank each and every piece of media out of a 10-point scale. And today we have the Sar Agorn recording, which Sar Agorn is a Jedi Master who's like this green, bulbous blob Jedi. He's super wise but funny looking. Can't remember his species. And he's quite wise. And this is a recording of one of his journal entries into a holocron. And in this, he's telling a story. The prompt that he had to answer was awareness of evil and what Jedi he had seen that had turned evil. So he tells the story of a Jedi who he trained, who was a former apprentice of him, named Cope Shikrill. And Cope Shikrill was the model apprentice. He did all his chores, never complained, never asked the wrong question, you know? He was the model Jedi. He did everything right, so maybe a Ferris Olin type of Jedi, you know? He was by the book and did everything the right Jedi way. He was the perfect little Jedi. And he was from the planet of Sarcophagus, and Sar Agorn recorded him. The issues began when a Jedi watchman came over named Nuk Leo, who was from how do you pronounce that? I don't remember how to pronounce the name of that planet, but Nuk Liu is this Jedi's name, and he comes over and he's demonstrating a new weapon he's created, which is a blade weapon that you can direct through the Force. I got the sense it's kind of like a throwing star type of thing, but I could be completely wrong. So Nuk Liu is suspicious of young Cope Shikrill because he shows great proficiency with the weapon. He hits all the targets dead on. He's a promising Jedi, yes, but this is peculiar because it took him Nuk Liu 2 months to perfect throwing his weapon, and this Jedi is maybe a prodigy, but he shouldn't be nailing targets that fast. So something's up with him, and he made sure to caution Master Sar Agorn there. And then Sar Agorn watches one night, a little while later, as Cope Shikrill entertains some of the younger trainees. I didn't get the sense they were younglings, but I got the sense that they were very young indeed. And Shikrill's young himself, so what's going to happen is a great tragedy. He was entertaining all of these young trainees. There was a human, there was a Fion, which are these really ugly guys from West End Games, and there was a Noisarian from one of the pod racers in episode 1 is Noisarian. So these were the Jedi recruits that he was entertaining with stories. He told this great story about a good brother and a bad brother, and how the good brother wanted to plant seeds, the bad brother wanted to eat seeds, and the bad brother was a buffoon, and the good brother was a hero, and he told this great story by using the Force to manipulate shadows around him to, act out the story. And so he really captivated the audience. But Sar Agorn felt something weird. He felt jealousy, because he doesn't have hands, and he'd never felt that before. And then he felt shame, because he felt jealousy there. So Sar Agorn, whisked away off to his quarters to meditate on why he was feeling this way, when suddenly, a little while later, there were screams, and they go back and find Cope Shikrill and 2 of the trainees on the ground covered in blood, 2 of them dead, and Shikrill just on the ground with them, injured, and the Noisarian is screaming, "Get out." He screams specifically, "The shadows are in my head, get them out," because the Noisarian is, killed the 2 trainees and injured Cope Shikrill, and he slits his own throat, and that's it. So that's a pretty tragic ending for that character there. And so a little while later, the next day, after Cope has recovered from his injuries a little bit, Sar Agorn It invites him for a little one-on-one powwow, and he takes him to the spot to ask him about the incident. And Cope Shycrow doesn't seem confused at all. He's willing to talk, and Sargorn asks him about the shadows, and it's revealed that Cope Shycrow always hears the shadows and he listens to them. And, he put the shadows in the Norsarian's head and caused him to kill those trainees, and as Sargorn's talking to him about the shadows and how, and he's saying, which brother are you in the analogy, the good one or the bad one? He's like, I'm the brother who lives. I've listened to the shadows since before I was a Jedi. I've always heard the shadows, and he's gonna kill Sargorn. Sargorn feels a sense of dread, and then all of a sudden, decapitation. Shycrow is decapitated as one of those throwing star projectile weapons is fired by Nuk Layu, who has been hiding there because Sargorn thought the whole time that Cope Shycrow was responsible. So he asked Nuk to help him, and then the rest of the story is kind of Sargorn reflecting on this. What separates a Jedi from the shadows and the light? What feeds the shadows? Are the shadows still there, or did they die with Shycrow? Where did the shadows come from? And this is an exploration of the dark side. It's clear that the dark side is what the shadows are in this story. And this is a really solid story. I really enjoyed this one, probably more than I should have. It was quite a gripping story, exciting, nice. You could see it coming from a long way off, but you still enjoyed it, and the anticipation of, the inevitable grisly deaths kept you engaged. This is a really, really solid short story. It's only 2-3 pages, but I really, really enjoy this one. And Cope Shycrow was a very interesting character, and the exploration of dark versus light kept me very interested. This gets a solid 5 out of 10 for me. I really, really enjoyed this one. Now, if you want to have it read to you, look no further, because I have news for you. Marcel Ryan, the Revanchist on YouTube, link to his channel in the description, reads Legends stories with flawless and impeccable reading. His voice is great, his inflection is brilliant, and he reads this story among them all. And when I reread this story, I reread it while listening to him read it, kept me paced through the whole story, and was a thoroughly enjoyable experience. So I highly recommend you go and check out Marcel and have this story read to you. Then you can come back and, tell me what you thought of it. Was it better than a 5 out of 10? Was it worse than a 5 out of 10? Or did I get the rating about just right? So, what did you guys think of the story? I thought it was excellent. Excellent story.